My name is Grace. I'm 27 and I've always been a dreamer. I live in a small flower-filled apartment in Seattle. I write poems no one reads, drink tea from chipped mugs, and work in a bookstore tucked between a bakery and a forgotten tailor shop. It's the kind of life people describe as peaceful, predictable, simple. But inside I was loud. My dreams were wild, my soul restless. And though I smiled politely through life, a part of me always waited for something. Something bigger. Something beautiful. I just never thought it would begin with someone else's vacation. My best friend Lily had planned her dream getaway to the Amalfi Coast for months. It was her escape after a brutal breakup, an open window to the sea. But 3 days before her flight, her mom was hospitalized. It wasn't life-threatening, but it meant Lily had to stay home. So she handed me her ticket and said, "You need this. You deserve this." I hesitated. I had never traveled alone. But something in me whispered yes. I packed light and took a deep breath. And just like that, my life changed. Italy smelled like salt and citrus. The air kissed my cheeks and carried laughter I couldn't translate. I wandered the cobbled streets of Positano, my eyes wide, my heart unsure. It was awkward at first, dining alone, watching couples take selfies, navigating unfamiliar roads. But the sea made everything softer. I began to walk slower, smile easier, breathe deeper. And then I met him. He was sitting on a stone wall by the marina, sketching. His hands moved like they knew the breeze. He caught me staring, smiled. "You're not from here, are you?" His name was Luca. Italian father, American mother. He lived between worlds. We talked for hours that first day. About books, travel, childhood fears, and the things we'd lost along the way. He asked questions no one had ever thought to ask. He listened like it was an art. And I felt seen. Each morning we met without planning to. Each evening we watched the sunset paint the cliffs orange. He showed me places tourists missed. I showed him parts of myself I didn't even know were hidden. We danced barefoot in alleyways lit with fairy lights. We shared gelato under the stars. We argued about poetry and made up with silence. I had never known someone who made the world feel both bigger and safer. Falling in love doesn't happen with fireworks. It happens in between sips of espresso, in shared jokes, in quiet moments. And one night I knew. He walked me to my hotel. We stood in the doorway, neither ready to say goodbye. And he whispered, "Don't go back to just existing." I cried that night. Because he had spoken to the part of me I thought no one noticed, the part that wanted more. The trip was ending. I had a return flight. A job. A routine. He never asked me to stay. And I never asked him to follow. But something unspoken stayed between us. Like a question we were both afraid to answer. I flew home with a full heart and tear-stained cheeks. And for days I couldn't breathe the same. Back in Seattle everything felt muted. The colors. The sounds. Even my own voice. I went back to work. I smiled. I told Lily the story. But inside I was burning. Not just for him. For the version of me I had met on that trip. So I made a decision. One that felt reckless. I booked another ticket. I landed in Italy 2 weeks later. He was at the same marina. Sketching. Waiting. He looked up. "I hoped." And I said, "I remembered how to hope. Because of you. We didn't promise forever. We promised now." And that was enough. Months passed. I worked remotely. I rented a room near Luca's. We lived slow. We cooked pasta and spilled wine. We disagreed. We danced. We discovered. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. Love didn't save me. It reminded me I was worth choosing. Even by myself. To the one who thinks her life is too quiet. To the one who wonders if magic only happens to other people. Sometimes all it takes is a ticket. A yes you didn't plan to say. A stranger who feels like home. Say yes. Even if your hands shake. Even if your voice trembles. Because sometimes, one trip, one meeting, one breathless moment can rewrite your whole story.